Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you to the 43rd Annual Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame Induction Banquet. I say good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and sports fans of all ages. Welcome to the frozen tundra we call Chautauqua Lake. Also, a Chautauqua County welcome to all of you that have traveled a distance to be here to join us. I thank you for your support and for being here to support your inductee as well. Yes, this is the middle of February, but in reality, spring is really just around the corner, I promise. There are signs everywhere. Yesterday, the NASCAR season opened up with a great American race, the Daytona 500, which was won by William Byron. Major League Baseball training camps opened up this week and are now in full swing in Florida and Arizona. Locally, high school basketball playoffs begin next week, and that season is winding down. The swimmers, the wrestlers are all gearing up for regionals and state tournaments and state meets, and that starts next week. I was in the locker room at Faulkner High School last week, and I noticed 2 cases of baseballs had been delivered. So have no fear, the high school baseball season is also very near. Tonight is truly going to be a special evening for all of us as we enshrine 9 new inductees into the Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame, known as the Class of 2025. Every athlete is gifted. They just unwrap their packages at different times. Each of you inductees have unwrapped your own special story to share with us this evening. The Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame takes great pride in the work it does to adhere to our mission statement, to honor and preserve the sports history in Chautauqua County. To Jessica Anderson, Tom Anderson, Anthony Barone, Stephen Carlson, Mark Edstrom, Ron Fredris, Nick Kahanik, Aaron Leeper, and to Nick Sirianni and the Ciarni family, I know that it takes a whole lot of people and a whole lot of support from many family and friends to achieve what you have done. They say that talent might make you good, but it's your attitude and your work ethic that make you great, and all of you have proven that. Congratulations on your awesome achievements. Welcome to each of you as members of the class of 2025 into the Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame. This is your night to shine. At this time, I would ask if you're able to please stand for our national anthem and our invocation. Our national anthem will be sung by Elora Watkins. She is a student at Maple Grove High School and a member of the swimming and diving team there. And our invocation will be given to us by Reverend Rick Tomasoni, personal friend of Tom Anderson. And Father Tomasoni is from Warren, Pennsylvania.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, my dear. Okay.
Good and gracious God, giver of all good gifts, in the wonder and beauty of creation you have bestowed gifts and talents such as music and dance and art and literature and athletic gifts. Tonight we celebrate those inductees who have excelled using their athletic gifts, recognizing that as they use them in excellence, they give glory to you. So we ask your presence with us tonight to bless our time together and to bless the food. Allow it to nourish and strengthen us and move us forward every day, one step at a time, closer and closer to the springtime that we've been promised. We ask this through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Thank you, Father. You may be seated. We'll now be served dinner, and our program will probably start close to 7:30. We are being live streamed, shown live tonight by the CCS TV network, so we're going to stick to our schedule. We'll be back with you about 7:30. Enjoy your dinner. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, I want to do a couple thank yous. If you could please help me thank the Rod and Gun staff, the kitchen staff, the bartenders, the wait staff. What a great job they do. At this time, I'd like to introduce our Chautauqua County Executive, P.J. Wendell, for a few remarks.
Thank you, Chip. And one thing you learn in this business is you never want to be the person speaking before dinner. So that gives me a little bit more time to be here tonight at the microphone. Just kidding. Really, what an honor it is to be here with all of you this evening. As some of us will say, we start to date ourselves now when your former students are inductees or colleagues in Ron Frederis and others. But really, I can't say enough of how proud I am as the county executive to be part of such an amazing county. I was talking to Joe Sayers today, and he said, you know, there must be something in the water, and I think that's true. We are the only county in the world that is the birthplace of Roger Goodell, the NFL commissioner, and a Super Bowl winning coach in Nick Sirianni. So hats off. Likewise, the only county to lay claim to a world Celtic heavyweight champion. Nick does so much, it's really hard to describe what he does. And a former student. But, you know, and everyone here, I don't want to shortchange any of it, but it is truly amazing. One of the things, as I was talking about this tonight, was Tim McGraw penned a song called Humble and Kind. And if you think about it, everyone here that's in this Hall of Fame, there's not a lot of bluster, there's not a lot of fanfare, there's not a lot of showboating. It's just the quietness, the humility. You look at people that exceeded, like Nick, Stephen Carlson, Shane Connell, our NFL, members. They're not flashy. You don't see the big bling, the fancy cars, the screaming, yelling on the sideline. It's intensity, it's hard work, it's dedication. There you go. And you also got the word commitment. And the Leaper fan, you can't deny the Leaper clan. But again, it's just the hard work and dedication and commitment, and I think that's sometimes lost. So our young people that are here tonight, take a look at the men and women that are being inducted tonight. Those are your role models. Those are the people you look up to. Emulate what they've done. Be part of their lives. And again, as a county executive, I'm so thankful to be here. Thank you so much for everyone. Congratulations to all our inductees, and have a great evening.
Next, I'd like to introduce the new manager of the Jamestown Tarp Skunks, Frank Jagoda.
Well, it's great to be here tonight. As PJ said, special thanks to Randy and the folks at the Chautauqua County Hall of Fame. Congrats to all the inductees. Special congrats to a good friend of mine, Anthony Barone. I played for Anthony many years ago, close to 20 now, and he gave me my first coaching job. So here we are today. It's a full circle moment for him and I, so congrats to him and his family. I promise I'll be quick. Just a few words on the Jamestown Tarp Skunks. And this summer. We're really excited. We have a really good group. We open up on May 29th. It's our home opener and season opener. So far, our roster is in a good place. For those of you who are curious and follow along, we have players from 28 different schools across 10 different states, across all levels of college baseball. You know, there's a lot of different activities throughout the summer at Dietrich Park, and you know, we have 24 home dates, special events such as firework nights, Kids Day, Bark in the Park for those with our four-legged friends, and of course, there's $2 beer nights, so I know this crowd could get behind that for sure. If you can't make it down to the park, our friends over at CCS TV do a great job. We're going to stream all of our home games this year, so really excited about that. And tickets are now on sale on our new website. I was asked to plug that as well. So, but we're really excited for the group. This is our 5th anniversary. It's a really special opportunity for us to honor a lot of those folks before us, not only at the professional level, but folks, again, like Anthony, who won a championship with the Jammers in 2018, Russ Dietrich, and those who are part of the board. It's a really great opportunity for the players to come in throughout the country and be good ambassadors, not only to the Tarp Skunks, but to Chautauqua County and baseball in our community. And if you'd like to contribute in any way, talk to Randy, ways to give back to the youth. You know, there's ways to contribute to our WIFI fund. Yes, I said WIFI fund. And we'd like to see you guys at the ballpark. Thank you.
Thanks, Frank.
There's another sign that spring's not far away. We got our Tarp Skunks, so please support them this summer if you would. Let me tell you a story. It's called That's Not My Job. This is a story about 4 people named Everybody, Somebody, Anybody, and Nobody. There was an important job to be done, and everybody was sure somebody would do it. Anybody could have done it, but nobody did it. Somebody got angry because it was everybody's job. Everybody thought anybody could do it, but nobody realized that everybody wouldn't do it. It ended up everybody blamed somebody, what nobody did, what anybody could have done. What I'm saying is this: it's everybody's job to make sure the job gets done. It's everybody's job to make sure the job gets done. Everybody's got their role, and there is an all-star in every role. So everybody's good. Let's go make it happen. Anyone who has been involved with a team or an organization can relate to that story. It takes everybody who's associated with that team to make it all work and be a successful team along the way. In the words of Coach Sirianni after winning the Super Bowl, and this is pinned for years to come, we can't be great without the greatness of others. Repeat after me. We can't be great without the greatness of others. The Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame and all of its directors like to tell a story. It's everybody's got their role, and there's an all-star in our role as well. They say good teams have good players, but great teams have great leaders. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce to you the all-star of our team, the president of the Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame, Randy Anderson.
Welcome, everyone. I sincerely thank each and every one of the 400 people who are in the room tonight for being here to support our inductees, to support our high school athletes, and to support the Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame. This has been a great year for us in terms of 300 local businesses and friends that have supported the Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame by purchasing an ad in our souvenir book. Please take this book home with you tonight and consider patronizing those businesses that have reached into their pocket to support the Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame and in turn, sports in our county. So patronize those people who care about sports as much as you do. I'd like to call your attention to the table sponsors that are seated in front of me. These recognized leaders of our community deserve your thanks and your patronage for their commitment to the Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame. I'd like to thank Schultz Auto Group. Tim, thank you very much. I'd like to thank Legend Group and Depis Insurance. Thank you, Lou. I'd like to thank DNS Glass Service. Thanks, Mike Latone. Great Lakes Physician Practice, Dr. John Lamancuso. Jamestown Area YMCA, thank you, John Barber. Hope's Windows, thank you, Kelly Dubois. Lynn Funeral Home, thank you, Gary Kinberg and the crew at Lynn's. Lakeshore Paving, Mark Lindstrom. The Matrix Group, Rick Turner. The Post-Journal, thank you, Mike. Jamestown Macadam, thank you, Tom Olson. Chip Johnson and his family, thank you, Chip. And County Executive P.J. Wendell, thank you, P.J. I want to give a special shout out to our friends that donated items for the raffle tonight. Greg Peterson, Commissioner Roger Goodell, the Buffalo Bills, the Philadelphia Eagles, Nick Sirianni, Pat Smeraldo and Collaborative Children's Solutions, and the Main Landing Restaurant in Celeron. And a really big thank you to Dan Hocking at Acme the Appliance Store on East 2nd Street in Jamestown for donating the refrigerator that lucky Karen Bloomquist won. The Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame maintains a museum at 15 West 3rd Street in Jamestown. To keep that hall open to the public, Monday through Friday, noon to 3, we rely on a dedicated group of volunteers that are listed on page 13 in your book. Take a look at page 13 in your book. I'd like to thank our volunteers for their efforts this past year. Please stand up and be recognized. Hall of Fame volunteers. On a night when we're going to welcome 9 new inductees into the Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame, it's important to remember those who came before. First, with a moment of silence, let us remember our cherished inductee who died on Christmas Day, former Philadelphia Eagles great Bill Berge. Thank you. Secondly, we have many past inductees in the room tonight. Please stand when I call your name and be recognized. Sheldon Battle. Cal Cedarquist. Sam Restivo. Bob Gould. Kay Gould. Vince Gullo. Frank Jagoda II. Bruce Johnson. Scott Kinberg. Sammy Lamancuso. Tom Priester. Bill Race. Bill Rollinger. Mike Sayers. Fran Sirianni. Jay Sirianni. I'm not sure if I saw Paul Cooley. He was scheduled to be here, and Andrew Krieger. I must have missed them. All right. Thirdly, there are family members here tonight representing our deceased inductees. I'd like them to be recognized as well. Tom Brown is here for his dad, Walt Brown. Judy Swanson is here for her dad, Bill Present. Mary Keeney is here for her husband, Jack. Lori Lassen is here for her dad, Jim Adamczak. Chip Johnson is here for his grandma, Kate Linder. And Keith Martin is here for his dad, Kenny Martin. At this time, I'd like to ask our honored athletes listed on page 31 in this book to assemble on the other side of the fireplace. Look for Coach Sirianni and Tammy Ray. They will help you get lined up. So all our high school athletes who are being honored tonight, other side of the fireplace, please. I want to recognize my fellow officers and our board of directors at the Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame who are listed on page 9 of your program book. This 30-member, all-volunteer group serves faithfully without compensation. I want to thank my fellow officers and the directors for the time and effort they contribute to this organization. All Hall of Fame directors, please stand up and be recognized. Most of the credit for the success of tonight's program falls on the shoulders of our banquet chairman, Chip Johnson. Chip has been handling the duties of banquet chairman for, get this, 36 consecutive years. Give a big hand to Chip Johnson. Finally, I'd like to recognize Pat Smeraldo and the students from Collaborative Children's Solutions TV who are live broadcasting tonight's event across their various platforms. As Coach Jagoda mentioned earlier, CCS TV is going to live stream all 24 Jamestown Tarpskunks baseball games this summer from Dietrich Park. Great job by CCS TV and Spanky Smeraldo. Okay, at this time, I'll turn the microphone back over to Chip, and we'll recognize our outstanding athletes.
The Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame's tradition of recognizing our many local athletes that have excelled in their sports is something we as a board hold very high on our priority list. Along with our 9 inductees whose accomplishments have been well documented, tonight we will recognize individuals that have attained first team All-State in New York State, a New York State team championship, or All-American status for their efforts this sports season. In the words of Coach K, the preparation to win is much more important than the will to win. But if you combine the preparation to win and the will to win, man, you always got a chance. These young athletes have certainly spent many hours building a future for their athletic and personal careers. So congratulations to the following outstanding athletes, and I would ask that you hold your applause till the very end, if you would, please. From the Frewsburg Bears girls soccer program, New York State Class C first team All-State, Tatum Jimerson.
So each of our athletes will receive a plaque from the Sports Hall of Fame, as well as an autographed photo courtesy of Coach Nick Sirianni. Congratulations, David. Come on, stand up here and get your photo taken, please.
From the Falconer Casadega Maple Grove combined girls soccer program, New York State Class B first team All-State, Juliana Roth. From the Southwestern Trojans boys soccer team, New York State Class B first team All-State for the second year in a row, Connor Young. From the Maple Grove Red Dragons boys cross country team, New York State Class D first team All-State and a 2024 All-American, Ethan Verboski.
Congratulations.
Back to the Southwestern Trojans, the girls cross country team, New York State Class C first team All-State, Emma Lewis. Going up north to the Pine Valley Gowanda football program, New York State Class D first team All-State, Cameron Slade. Back to the Frewsburg Bears, their 8-man football program, which has been very successful. First team All-State is Trent Lewis. Another one I'd like to mention that is not here, her name is Jayla Kazan. She's from Silver Creek. She attends SUNY Brockport. She is a United States Soccer Coaches NCAA Division III All-American. She is at school and cannot be here this evening. From the USA Paralympic team, USA Paralympic Team Trials gold medal in the 400-meter dash, Raven Sample. From the Jamestown High School Red and Green football program, New York State Class AA first team All-State, Chase Bonta. As I introduce the next several individuals, I'm going to ask them to stand up here and be alongside each of your teammates. From the Clymer Sherman Panama football program, New York State Class D first team All-State and co-player of the year for New York State, Tate Catneys. From Clymer Sherman Panama football program, New York State Class D first team All-State. Also, he shared the 2024 co-player of the year, Bryce Hinsdale. From Clymer Sherman Panama football program, New York State Class D first team All-State, Alex Barmore. Climber Sherman Panama football program, New York State Class D, first team All-State, Colin Ryan. From the Climber Sherman Panama football program, New York State Class D, first team All-State, Carter Brink. Climber Sherman Panama football program, New York State Class D, first team All-State, Dalton Richter.
Dalton's not here? No. All right, you're in charge. You're going to ask Dalton.
Finally, I would ask from Climber Sherman Panama football team, they are the New York State Class D state champions for 2024. Their coach, Ty Harper. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't ever remember this many guys on one football team being named first team All-State. Quite an honor. Also, Ty Harper will be retiring as coach of CSP, so he deserves a lot of congratulations as well. Congratulations, CSP football. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's meet the class of 2025 inductees to the Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame. One of the finest female athletes in history of the former Mayville Central School was Jessica Anderson. She was a standout athlete for the Lady Golden Eagles from the time she was in 7th grade until her graduation in 1992, excelling in volleyball, basketball, and softball. She was a 4-year starter on the volleyball team for Coach Penny Height, leading the Golden Eagles to 3 Section 6 titles, 2 Western Regional titles, and was named a New York State Class CD Player of the Year in 1991, and a member of the 1990 and 91 New York State Championship teams. She was a 3-year starter on the basketball team for Coach Rick Anderson, where she scored over 700 points, grabbed over 600 rebounds, and set school records for block shots and rebounds. For her efforts on the basketball court, Jessica was named a 2-time Division III All-Star and a member of the Post-Journal All-Star team in 1992. She was a 6-year starter on the Lady Golden Eagles softball team. She batted over 600 in both her junior and senior year, earning Division III honors and being named to the Post-Journal All-Star softball team. She was also named Mayville Central School's Female Athlete of the Year, both 1991 and 92. Her athletic ability in high school earned her an NCAA Division I scholarship to Niagara University, where she was a 4-year starter in both volleyball and softball. As a Purple Eagle volleyball player, she was the MAC Rookie of the Year in 92 and first team All-MAC the next 3 years, and was a member of the MAC All-Tournament team and runner-up as the MAC Player of the Year as a senior. She was the first player in Niagara University history to record more than 1,000 kills and graduated as an all-time record holder in kills, blocks, and hitting percentage. On the softball diamond, she was named MAC All-Tournament team and batted over 300 consistently as an outstanding outfielder. In 1997, Jessica was awarded the Kevin Mulkern Award as the most outstanding athlete at Niagara University. For her tremendous athletic career at Niagara, she was inducted into the Niagara University Athletic Hall of Fame in 2002. After earning her degree in special education, she started coaching volleyball, first as head coach at Niagara, then at Damon, and from there she was a head volleyball coach at North Tonawanda High School, and during that time had served as the Niagara Frontier League volleyball chairperson for 15 years. She now serves as a volunteer coach for Special Olympics and coaches inner city girls for Nickel City Volleyball. She is currently a special ed teacher at North Tonawanda High School, lives in Orchard Park, and I am pleased to introduce Jessica Anderson as an inductee into the Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame.
Thanks for bringing us here.
Looks like more than 400 people. I am glad that I'm speaking first because you won't have anyone to compare me to, so that is a good thing. My formal speech is in the book, so this will be quick and to the point, hopefully. First, I'd like to congratulate the other members that are being inducted tonight, and I would like to thank the Hall of Fame Committee for selecting me to be inducted into this prestigious group. It is an incredible honor. I owe a huge debt of gratitude to all the people that are sitting at my table tonight, both family and friends that are family. I wouldn't be standing here if it wasn't for those people. My family has been with me since day one. My parents, siblings, my cousins, they supported my athletic career by driving me back and forth to practices, coming to games, and just being there for me, win or lose, all since first grade. My siblings, my cousins supported me as great teammates who helped me improve, or by playing backyard ball, other pickup games with me, with neighborhood boys. Yeah, I always had to play with the boys. That seemed to be mostly who was around, unless Jill came down from up on the hill. My wife, Kristen, was with me through the last few years of coaching the varsity volleyball team at North Tonawanda. Some of those years were a little tough, and she provided unwavering support no matter the outcome or situation that arose. Two very important people to me are not here tonight, and that's my grandparents. They were the most supportive grandparents anyone could have ever asked for. They attended as many events as possible in every sport I played, from like the minor leagues up through college and through my coaching career. And they probably would have been the first people waiting at the door of the Hall of Fame 20 minutes early the day tickets went on sale to make sure they got them. And I'm really thankful that they were in my life. And the three coaches that I wrote about in my written speech, they all contacted me, and unfortunately they couldn't make it tonight, but it just goes to show what type of people they were, that they all reached out to me ahead of time and just expressed their congratulations to me. And that was my varsity softball coach and JV basketball coach, Ms. Dawn Woolabin, my varsity basketball coach, Mr. Rick Anderson, and my JV and varsity volleyball coach, Ms. Penny Height, because she ran the whole program for probably the first 4 years of the program. And without them, I would not have been as successful as an athlete or as a coach. Their knowledge and guidance was a driving force behind everything that I was able to do. One story about Mrs. Height, if you know, like back in the 90s, high school teams didn't have all the fancy things that people have nowadays as far as like jump training goes, especially that. She came up with this great idea of putting sand inside tires and cutting the ends off, and made us do like all this jump training on the bleachers with sandbags, like 20-pounders. And she just thought that was the best thing you could have. And we started that our sophomore year, and that was our jump training, 20 tires filled with 20 pounds of sand. So she likes to take credit for like all of our vertical jumps from back then. So that was our sophisticated jump training in the 90s. One big thing for us at Mayville, I don't know if a lot of people know this, we were fortunate to win the first ever state championship in volleyball. In 1990, it was the very first one they ever had for girls volleyball. And we were just like over the moon when we won. And we had a team that played together from 7th grade. And you know, the small schools, you go to kindergarten through 12th grade in one school. And to be able to win that in the 6th year of a program, who started out the first year not winning a game, and 6 years later, you win the state championship. and then you do it again the next year. And it took a whole team. And every single player on that team had a role. And everyone knew their role on that team. And there was not one person that was better than the other because it took every single player on that team to do it. And we couldn't have done it without anyone, whether you were a starter, a sub, or someone that helped in practice. It took everyone to do it. The next step for me was getting that scholarship to play at Niagara, and that was life-changing. And I'm not sure I would have left Chautauqua County if I didn't get that. I was afraid to go outside of the county. I was like, oh no, it's a big city out there. I didn't know what to do. And athletics is where I had my confidence, and I never dreamed I could play at the Division I level. But senior year, I started getting letters from a bunch of schools, but most were kind of far away. So I narrowed it down to Niagara and St. Bonaventure, places that my family could still come and see me. And they had good education programs, both of them did. But this professor, Dr. Vermette at Niagara, he told me, you know, you can get a history education degree. It's better than getting a phys ed degree. You can still coach. You'll have more opportunities to get a job. So that made my choice to go to Niagara a little easier. And then also, the color purple is a lot better than the color brown. So the rest is history. I wouldn't change a thing about high school or my college careers. I'd go back and do it all over again if I had the chance. And I loved every second of it. And thank you guys very much for listening.
So each inductee will receive a plaque from the Hall of Fame. A duplicate of the plaque is at our museum at 15 West 3rd Street. Each inductee will receive a ring. Hang on to that, Jess. And also, our local government officials have offered certificates of recognition. County Executive Wendell, Assemblyman Molitor, Senator Borrello, and Congressman Langworthy all have submitted certificates of congratulations and recognition. Thank you so much, Jessica.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
As a 1976 graduate of Southwestern Central School, Tom Anderson was a standout tennis player under the guidance of Coach Ann Tenney Smith, who coincidentally is a 2005 inductee into the Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame. Tom was her #1 singles player for 3 years at Southwestern. Following high school, Tom went on to the State University of New York at Brockport, where he was a 4-year starter and #1 singles player in 1980, finishing second in the SUNY Championship Tournament. In the local sports arena, Tom was a 5-time City of Jamestown champion, 2-time Warren, PA City champion, and won the Chautauqua County Championship, the Len Johnson Classic, the Post-Journal Classic tournaments. In 1980, Tom began teaching tennis at the former Billie Jean King Tennis Center and continued teaching for the next 23 years as it has transitioned into the Lakewood YMCA that we know today. In 1991, Tom was named the executive director of the Lakewood YMCA and propelled the Lakewood Y into an active, sustainable, and valuable resource for the greater Jamestown and Chautauqua County communities. Tom was personally responsible for the formation of a 10,000 square foot indoor soccer facility at the Y that is also used for basketball, volleyball, floor hockey, roller hockey, making it a true multi-use facility. Tom's vision expanded even further, and he was instrumental in creating the Indoor Gymnastics Center, which is equipped with Olympic quality apparatus, as well as promoting the racquetball and, more recently, the pickleball courts. Tom's community activities include the formation of the long-standing Battle of the Businesses, the July 4th Firecracker Run, the Amy King Run, and March Madness 3-on-3 basketball tournament. For his lifelong commitment to the Y, he was awarded the Paul B. Sullivan Lifetime Achievement Award and had the honor of the tennis courts at the facility named the Tom Anderson Tennis Courts. For all of us in Chautauqua County, Tom will forever be the face of the Lakewood YMCA. Tom retired in 2022, now living in Russell, PA, but still has his finger on the pulse at the Y. I am honored to have Tom Anderson as an inductee into the Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame.
Thank you, everybody. Randy said I had 3 minutes to do my speech. Since it took me 3 minutes to get up here, bye-bye. I am honored to be an inductee for the Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame in 2023. We have Nick Kahanick, who is a world champion in the Highland Games. We have Steven Carlson, who's an NFL tight end and caught a touchdown pass for the Cleveland Browns. And we have Nick Sirianni, who is an NFL Super Bowl winning coach. And then we have me. I won a pickleball tournament. My own tournament. I would like to thank my mom and dad for all their support. My dad got me into sports, and at a young age, made me into a Cleveland Browns fan. Oh, what joy. Thanks, Dad. I have my brothers here tonight, Mike, Todd, and Davey. Davey was a lieutenant colonel in the United States Air Force and flew the B-1B stealth bomber. He did missions in Iran and Afghanistan, and he did flyovers for the World Series and the Super Bowl. He is the family favorite. But he never won the pickleball tournament. Okay. When I was 19 years old, I was at Rockport State playing tennis. The best tennis of my life. I entered the Western New York tournament. I knew I wouldn't win the tournament because we had the number one person from Penn State. We had the best players from Buffalo, Rochester, and Syracuse. So if I won a few rounds, I'll be pretty happy. So I won my first round, and the director came up to me. He said, for your second round, you're playing an 11-year-old kid, 11 years old. And he was short. He looked like 6. He beat me 6-0, 6-1. The kid was Jimmy Arias, who became number 5 in the world. That's a true story. After that, I won the Jamestown City Tournament 5 years in a row, and I wanted to break the record. So I went down to the Prendergast Library. I went through the microfilm. Lenny Johnson, a Hall of Famer, won the tournament 37 times. I quit tennis. My staff and I administered 90 running races. 90. That's 30,000 runners. 30,000. I'm very proud of my staff, including Lisa Johnson, Crystal Rodriguez, Mike Johnson, Donna Garvey, Sue Manita, Matt Johnson. I'm very, very proud of them. No one died. We also ran a 3-on-3 basketball tournament for the youth called March Madness. It was the largest indoor tournament in the East. We had 16 courts, 212 teams, 800 players, 600 games, and not one parent complained. I want to thank Scott Sawyer, who nominated me, and all my supporters. including Bob Gould, Tom Priester, Tom Mara, Scott Kidberg right here, and someone else. I forgot. Dan Bjork. Hey, Dan. And Pete Mancini. Okay. I want to thank my sons, Corey and Troy, for flying in from Washington yesterday. 3 delays, 2 cancellations, but they got here. Thank you. And all their support. They got here. And I especially want to thank my wife, Judy, for all her support over the years. And she's the one that takes care of me now, because I'm not doing too good. Thank you very much.
Tom, I'll carry
Okay.
this back in your seat.
Thank you.
And
Thank
you
you.
can just carry yourself.
Okay.
Look at all these people standing up for you. Look at all these people. Somebody thinks you're big shit.
Since his graduation from Jamestown High School in 1997, Anthony Barone has taken his love of baseball into a lifelong career in sports. He started playing as a youth in Jamestown. He was a standout player at JHS in baseball and basketball, where he was first-team All-ECIC and a Post-Journal All-Star. He then took his athletic talent to Jamestown Community College and was captain of the baseball team at the time of his graduation in 1999. He was also named one of JCC's 50 greatest athletes. Anthony finished his college baseball playing days at Felician College in Lodi, New Jersey, where he was an academic All-American, and in 2001 returned to Jamestown Community College and served as an assistant baseball coach and was promoted to head baseball coach in 2005, serving in that capacity until 2012. And during that time, he was named NJCAA Region 3 Coach of the Year in 2008. In 2015, the Jamestown Jammers of the Perfect Game Collegiate Baseball League hired Anthony as their manager, where he took the Jammers to the playoffs in 3 years, the championship series twice, and won the league championship in 2018 under and during his tenure with the Jammers. Anthony was named a 2-time Manager of the Year. Seeing his success as a manager, the Jammers ownership promoted him to the Milwaukee Milkmen of the American Association of Professional Independent Baseball, where he served as an assistant coach and was named manager in 2020 and led the Milkmen to the American Association Championship in his rookie year and the Eastern Division title in 2023. Anthony was also a coach on the international level at the Merida, Mexico, and Dubai United Arab Emirates. Anthony now splits his time between Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and Jamestown, New York, and I'm honored to introduce Anthony Barone as an inductee of the class of 2025.
Good evening. That's going to be quite a tough follow Tom Anderson there. That was a great speech, and just want to say good evening. First, I want to thank the Hall of Fame committee for this outstanding opportunity to join some of the most decorated athletes, coaches, and sports personalities in the history of Chautauqua County. Congratulations to the other 2025 inductees. It's quite a class, and it's just an honor to be here with them. I have a lot of, familiarity with a lot of these guys, so it makes it even more special. And like I said, next my thanks goes to my family, my children that are here, Nathaniel, AC, Liliana, Hannah, Sergio, my wife Megan. She's sort of been the rock of all of this. She's my best friend. She's, my recruiting coordinator. She sits up at night watching videos of baseball players that I'm trying to get. My travel agent, the list goes on. She's been there for all of it. My mother, my father, for bringing me up the way that they brought me up, and always telling me how hard work pays off in the end. And I try to instill that with my children as well. Nothing's easy, and we're all here for a reason. The inductees could all probably tell you the same thing. The family, the push that they get from their family and friends and their coaches makes the biggest difference. I want to thank a lot of my prior coaches, teammates, co-workers, a couple guys here tonight. Frank Jagoda, who Frank spoke earlier for the Tarp Skunks. Frank was a player for me, coming from University of Buffalo. He then was a coach with me, my pitching coach, and now he's just been a really good friend throughout all these years. Austin Alonge, who's back there. Austin's a Westfield guy. I actually coached him back when he was playing for Mercyhurst University, and we also then became co-workers as I was managing the Jammers. He was our general manager, and just a lot of, these two guys have been with me for a lot of the ups and downs of the career. I see Tommy Tantillo back there. Tommy was a player of mine at JCC and also coached with me in Wellsville, New York, summer 2013. He was my assistant, and he could tell you all the stories from out in Wellsville, New York, from living in a funeral home to the drives to the ball games and some of the things you do just to make it. But all these lessons you learn, I talk about it. It's a lifestyle when you get into sports, and it's something I can't thank my family and my friends and my coaches enough. I have my aunts, my uncles that are here, Aunt Joanne, Aunt Jackie, and Uncle Greg and Uncle Richard. Just everything that family does to get you, to the point of this, in your career. But first, I'm just going to start back to 1984. My love of the game became an obsession. I was 5 years old. Wasn't the normal 5-year-old. My mornings consisted of getting up, reading box scores from Major League Baseball games. Most kids wake up, get ready for school, watch cartoons. That wasn't me. I was watching SportsCenter when it first came out, and I was living in Toledo, Ohio. My father was going to school out there. My mother was working, and we were living in a duplex out there. I can still remember it like yesterday. And me and my sister, and we'd get up, and I'd watch the 1984 Detroit Tigers, Alan Trammell, Lou Whitaker, Chet Lemon, Jack Morris. They were like bigger than life to me. And that, I soaked it all in. And that year they won the World Series, and I became, I was hooked. I was hooked on baseball and sports. So it's something I still remember so vividly. I was only 5, but that sort of shaped my passion. Fast forward to my youth, we moved back to Jamestown, and so many of my youth coaches made such a big difference. My first experience in Bambino League while playing for Consistory, I can still remember my first coach, Dale Melquist. Dale was a great guy, and he, it's always one thing having your father teach you the game, but when you have your first formal coach, they can sometimes get to you more than a parent can. You sort of listen to them, and and Dale was my first baseball coach, and he continued that passion for me, that love of the game. And basketball was also a big passion of mine, and I still remember my first YMCA youth practice. It was at Love School, and my coach was the late Tom Bodafaro. And he was so fun. I can still remember going to practice at Love School, and he would make it challenging, but he would make everything fun, and the kids really enjoyed playing YMCA basketball. And that's how we grew up back, I don't know how it is nowadays, but we grew up playing YMCA basketball and Bambino League baseball, and you made your friends, and you were whatever team you were on, you sort of represented that team when you were in school the next day and that week, so you were always, back then YMCA basketball was bigger than life. And we loved going to those games. And like I said, Tom Bodafaro was a great leader of kids when we were there. But I started realizing I had an ability with sports at a young age and tried to dedicate myself to both academics and athletics. It was always preached to me by my parents. One didn't come without the other. And it is important. And I really still try to preach that to my children. And we always talk about family, faith, and education and your academics. And those things, it was instilled in me at a young age from my grandparents, my parents. But yeah, and the other thing, a lot of you guys that are here, the biggest part of my story, I think, is Jamestown, New York, and what Jamestown is. It played a crucial part of who I am, how I got to this point in my journey, to grow up here, playing youth sports, high school sports, and, Aaron Leeper's over here, playing for the Red Raiders, and that was a big deal back then, playing for the Red Raiders and wearing those colors. And you had to be tough. You had to be tough when you played for Jamestown. Nothing was ever given. The pride, the commitment were different than any other place. Athletics was a melting pot for all the student athletes from various backgrounds. I love the relationships I made at JHS. I think back to those days all the time, and those were some of my best days. I see Scott Kinberg here, and he used to cover our games, and it was a joy. And it was just such a diverse population in Jamestown, and the type of kids you grew up with, and I'll never forget that. And I think that shaped me to who I am now. And I see 2025 inductee Coach Ron Frederis back there. He was my varsity basketball coach, and I hadn't seen Coach Frederis in about 30 years now. He hasn't changed. He was demanding. He told me, Anthony, be careful what you say because I'm going to be speaking after you tonight. So, he was demanding, disciplined. He expected work ethic from his players. Now that I've coached for a better part of 20 years, I expect the same. Coach Frederis took our team to great heights, and I learned a lot of what it was to become a man. He expected toughness, fight, and grit, and those are all characteristics of being born and raised in Jamestown. And I really, think, back in the day when your coach is tough on you, you don't see it in the same scope as you do when you get older. But Coach Frederis was one of the most intelligent coaches I've been around, and the X's and the O's. And there was one day, though, Sirianni's might remember this. Back in 1996, I was a junior. We were playing Southwestern High School, opening night, and Coach Frederis probably remembers this. We had a lot of high expectations that year, and Southwestern actually came to our house on opening night and beat us. I'll just say we didn't touch a basketball the next couple days at practice. And we also didn't lose another game for the next 18 in a row. So Coach Frederis knew how to get the most out of us, and he was great, and congratulations to him. But after that, going on to my college career, I had a pretty devastating wrist injury, sort of changed the course of my life, actually. I put my arm through a window, severed a tendon my senior year right after the baseball season. I was supposed to go somewhere else. I ended up, didn't know if I was going to play sports again. But I ended up going to Jamestown Community College. They took a chance on me. Played baseball for Kerry Kellogg and basketball for Mike Cordovano. Both guys really good, leaders of, once again, I always say, they grew us into men. I see Henry Leeper over there. Henry played for Coach Cordovano, and Chris Olson I see back there. And they could tell you a lot about Coach Cordovano and Kerry Kellogg. And it was, they taught the game where you had to be tough, and they expected a lot out of you. They taught it the professional way. After my 2 years there, I earned a scholarship to Felician University in New Jersey. Developed great friendships, obviously, there. But my love of the game, I wanted to make it a career, and that's sort of what I decided to do. I went to college, earned a degree and all that, but I knew right away I wanted to coach baseball the rest of my life. Got back into it with my old head coach, Kerry Kellogg. After I was graduated, he gave me a spot as an assistant, and then I became a head coach for 7 years at JCC. But it was always about the players. Any good coach will tell you it's always about the players, and they give you so much that you can't give them. They're the ones out there battling day in, day out, sweating, bleeding, giving so much to you. So the players are always the thing that makes you a great coach, I believe. So yeah, some of those great accomplishments, but it wasn't the winning on the field. At the junior college level, it was about, our players graduating, moving on, earning scholarships, my journey sort of spanned from there to Division I, Cal State Bakersfield, then back to the Jamestown Jammers for 4 seasons. And my time with the Jammers was possible because of our GM right now, Dan Kinsey, owner Mike Zimmerman. Both supported me in my career. It's important to have the support from the people up top at the professional level. At that spot, it's about winning. And but it was so nice in 2018, the last year of the Jammers. It was my last year here. Probably my favorite moment of my career because we won a championship for my hometown, my city. It's a humbling experience when a city that gives you so much growing up, you can do something back for them. And when you win championships, it's always about your family and all the sacrifices they make, your children, your wife, your family, the hours that you're not around. I deal with that right now too, just being half the time in Milwaukee and half the time here in Jamestown. It takes a lot of discipline and effort from your children and your family to get you through those things. But yeah, it's been a long career, and my dreams have never changed. They evolve as I get older. But I put my faith in my family, and my profession is on top of all that too. So, but there's so many people here that have touched my life, and it's an honor to be inducted with this class in 2025. Thank you.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
His potential to play as a professional in the National Football League was first evident during his outstanding career at Jamestown High School from 2011 to 2014, playing both football and basketball for the Red and Green. As a top receiver on the football team, Stephen Carlson generated 2,411 receiving yards on 134 receptions and scored 22 touchdowns, and on defense recorded more than 250 tackles. He was an important piece of the puzzle for Coach Langworthy's troops as JHS won the Class AA New York State Championship in his senior year. In 2014, Stephen was named the Conley Cup winner as the most outstanding football player in Western New York, was named first team All-State in 2013 and 14, and thus his number 89 hangs on the bleachers at Strider Field. He was a 2-time winner of the Western New York James Lofton Award as a top receiver and named Post-Journal Player of the Year in 2014. On the hardwood, Stephen was just as impressive with his ability, helping Coach Drake's team to 3 consecutive Section 6 championships and an appearance in the 2014 state title game in Glens Falls. For basketball, he was named first team All-ECIC, Post-Journal All-Star, 5th team All-State, and has his basketball jersey number 22 hanging on the wall of fame in McElrath Gymnasium. Following graduation, he received a Division I scholarship to Princeton University to play football for the Tigers. Before his graduation from Pittsburgh in 2019, Stephen played on the 2018 undefeated Ivy League championship team and was twice chosen as an All-Ivy League player. In 2019, Stephen signed his first professional contract with the Cleveland Browns, eventually becoming a member of their 53-man roster, and during that year received 5 game balls for his efforts as a tight end and special teams player. After a year of rehabbing a knee injury, Stephen signed with Chicago Bears, attending minicamp in 2023 and was promoted to their active roster in 2024. To this day, he is the only player from Chautauqua County to score a touchdown in an NFL game, which occurred on November 14th, 2019, catching a pass from quarterback Baker Mayfield as the Browns defeated the Pittsburgh Steelers. I am pleased and honored to have Stephen Carlson as a member of the class of 2025 into the Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame.
Mr. Anderson? No. Thank you guys. It's an honor to be here tonight. Football-wise, I'm fully healthy for next season, but with perfect timing, I got 2 cavities filled right before this, so my mouth's a little numb. I can't feel it, so bear with me. But I just want to say thank you to Mr. Anderson, Mr. Johnson, and everybody at the Hall of Fame for putting on this event and filling this room with so many people. I'm proud to share the room, with so many remarkable individuals. I've had the privilege of crossing paths with a few inductees. Mr. Anderson, who I used to, play tennis with at the Y, and tried to give you a few years of good Cleveland Brown football there while I was there. Mr. Barone, who was, my gym coach at Holy Family, and Coach Sirianni and his family, who have been, nothing short of amazing for me my whole life. And a shout out to all the other inductees as well. There's so many people I could individually thank, but we would be here all night, so I'll do that elsewhere. No matter where I've gone in my career, I know I've had this community back home supporting me. And it's amazing how much support and backing that I receive, from my hometown. There's never been a moment of controversy, or I've never had any haters. It's always unwavering support and love for me to keep going in my career. I also know that I owe so much of where I am to my coaches along the way, Coach Langworthy and his staff, and Coach Drake and his staff. I always thought I was going to be a basketball player my whole life until my junior and senior year. I was probably averaging more fouls than points. So, I ended up going the football route and somehow am here today. And it was really just a little bit of talent and a lot of hard work. Toughness, enthusiasm, and discipline were the values that the JHS football team is all about. I got my 2014 state championship ring here. It's a good opportunity to wear that. So I do have some bling on me, which is nice. And the teams and the coaches that I had growing up, gave me the belief that I could achieve anything, and instilled in me the responsibility to be a good person along with that. They taught me to honor my commitments, respect those around me, and recognize that, like Coach Sirianni said, I'm nothing without the people, who push me, the people around me, my family, my friends, teammates, coaches, and you guys, the community. When I was younger, my focus wasn't on, scholarships or making it to the NFL. I was simply just trying to have fun with my friends in the sports. And this joy and camaraderie that I built back then is what carries me. And the love and the support from the community is what laid the foundation and what carries me forward today. And that's something I always try to take with me. And again, I just want to thank everyone who's been a part of my journey, my family, my wife, Allie, my mom, my dad, my brother, my friends, coaches, teammates, and all you guys here today. Your support means everything to me, and let's keep supporting Chautauqua County sports and uplifting each other along the way. Thank you.
Congratulations. I appreciate you. Thank you.
As another great athlete coming from Jamestown High School during the decade of the 1970s, Mark Edstrom was the type of athlete that was a coach's dream. There was not a sport that Mark did not excel in. A 1972 graduate, Mark played football, basketball, and ran track and field. In basketball, his name appears on the JHS Wall of Fame, and at the time of his graduation was the school's leading points producer and leading rebounder for the Dutch Leonard-led Raiders. He was the leader of the 1972 basketball team that went 19-2 and won the Section 6 Quad A title, which was as far as the team could go back in that era, which is now known as the New York State Championships in Glen Falls. In football, Edstrom was a 3-year starter at quarterback for the Red Raiders under Coach Tony Nunes and Dick Noonan, and in track and field ran the 800 relay team that set a school record. Following graduation from JHS, Mark took his athletic talents to Alfred University, playing football, basketball for the Saxons. He was named a 2-time All-Eastern Collegiate Athletic Conference first-team member, was also the leading scorer, playing running back and place kicker on the Alfred football team. In 1975, Mark became the only athlete in Alfred University history to be the leading scorer on both the football and basketball teams in the same year. He was recognized for his outstanding college career when he was inducted into the Alfred University Hall of Fame in 1988. And tonight, as Mark lives now in Massachusetts as a retired postmaster, I am pleased to have Mark Edstrom as a member of the Chautauqua County Sports Hall of Fame.
Thank you, Ray. Thank you, everybody. I'd like to thank the Chautauqua Sports Hall, the board for inducting me into the Hall of Fame. I would not be standing here today with all the support that I received from my family, my friends, teammates, coaches, supporters of youth athletics, the sponsors. Everyone like that made this night possible for me. It's nice to be back in Chautauqua County, not on this night or this weather, but it reminds me of what it was like when I lived here before. Having this event at this location is especially special. When my wife, I, and my daughter would visit my sister, brother-in-law, and her son, we spent a lot of time up here in this facility, especially on Sundays, eating chicken and biscuits. My wife says those are the best food that she's had. We spent time in a lot of restaurants. I grew up on the east side of Jamestown, a few blocks from College Stadium, Stadium West, which we called Silver Fence, East Jamestown School. And that was my life as a child, playing sports, football, baseball especially. Spent a lot of time at the stadium with the minor league ballpark players. They were so generous to us. We never bought a baseball. Not many bats either, because they would give us the bats, would take them home, put a screw in them, and play with them again. And it was so nice to be down there. It made me want to be one of them. I looked up to these people. They were so kind. My father and I would listen on the radio to the Boston Celtics. My father was a big Celtic fan. It didn't come in very clear, but it made me say, boy, basketball sounds like a good sport. I wasn't playing basketball all at the time, but I shortly took that up. I had a growth spurt in, I think, 7th grade, and people said I should be playing basketball then, so I took up the sport. My father also took me to Bergman Park to see the softball games. And at one of those games, it was between Stravatos and Seizure House. And there was a young man on the mound for Seizure House. We know him. Anthony just spoke about him, Ron Fredris. And everything Anthony said about him is true. I know it from experience. And another thing, he ended up coaching basketball at Alfred University 3 years after I did. I wish I could have switched that around and been there when he was coaching. I think I really would have enjoyed it. And I think he would have made me a better player. Played Little League and midget football, and then I moved on to Washington Junior High School, and I had a coach, Wally Carlson, there, and he taught me how to win. When I was in 8th grade, we were undefeated in basketball, track. The next year, it was football, basketball, and track. And I don't want to let anyone out, but Wally Carlson was a key person in my life at that time. As I moved on to high school, and I was on the JV football team at the time, and the varsity was having some injuries at the quarterback position, and Tony Nunes took me aside one day, gave me a football, and said, throw it as far as you can. So I did. Gave me the football again, said, throw it as far as you can. That was my tryout for the varsity team. And I really enjoyed playing for Tony Nunes. He was very inventive. In fact, if you talk to other football players that played for him, in one game that year, I think it was 1970, we ran a no-huddle offense. That wasn't thought of back in those days. And we were successful. Every day, every game, he would change the game plan, and it made it fun to play for. On to basketball. Our coaches, Dutch Leonard and Veer Lindquist, were wonderful. I really enjoyed playing for them. Later on, I got to play softball with Veer Lindquist, which not many people get to play with a coach, I don't think. But we were 2-16, 10-10, and then 19-2 in 1972. While a few of us received a lot of the credit for that team, the reason we were successful was because every player on that team contributed so much. Our practices were harder than our games. They pushed us, the coaches pushed us, all us players pushed each other, and I believe that's why we were so successful. Another factor was the support we received. The fans, led by Bill Miley, Greg Becker, and Steve Cardy, were a tremendous boost for the team. It was entertainment along with a basketball game, and I remember that. And I have a gentleman in front of me who remembers that very well, Scott. We talked about it earlier tonight. I also want to say thanks to the Park and Recreation, led by Russ Dietrich. I played softball, Little League baseball. They always kept the fields in very good condition and made it nice to play on. Through the years, we were lucky to be Through the years, I was lucky to be on teams supported by Caesar House, Frewsburg, and Heinz Vending. This is where sponsors come in, and they're so important because they're able to allow us to play. Played fast pitch modified, and I got to play with people who played on Stravatos and Caesar House, which I thought was amazing, that I could play with these teams that were so good before. I enjoyed friendships playing sports. Actually, that was the most important thing to me over the years. They make you better. It's so much fun to be able to get along with all your teammates and they just push you and you push them. You don't want to disappoint them and they don't want to disappoint you. I really can't imagine growing up anywhere than this area. I played sports, basketball, and softball out in Springfield, Massachusetts. It wasn't the same. We're very, very lucky for what we have here in this community. My daughter Kelly, her husband Sam, and they have a young child, 5 months old. They couldn't be there today. Kelly was formerly a Spartan racer. If you don't know what they do, they run up hills carrying sandbags, shimmying through and under barbed wire, climbing mountains, ropes, running through water, jumping over fire, etc. And she has become my favorite athlete. More than 40 years ago, I got the courage up to ask a young lady out on a date one night, and she said no. She couldn't go out that evening, but she said she'd go out the next day. We've been together 41 years now. Since that day, our life's been like a Hallmark movie, if you know them. My wife knew nothing about me before we met, and she probably didn't know that much about me until recently when all this came about. One day she said, "I didn't know you played quarterback." But I couldn't have a better wife. She's my professional career, she supported me. She helped bring up our young daughter, and I owe a gratitude of thanks to her. Again, thank you all for being here tonight. Thank you for, like everyone said, supporting youth sports. I'm honored to be inducted into the class with the other members of the 2025 class. Thank you.
Mark, don't leave that. You got to carry some hardware.
You were just fine. You were just fine. Good job. Okay, I want to say
As a 1963 graduate of Jamestown High School, Ron Fredress was a three-sport athlete playing basketball, baseball, and football. Following his high school graduation, he continued being a three-sport athlete at SUNY Brockport, graduating in 1967. Ron went on to earn his master's degree in education from the University of North Carolina, where he was a graduate assistant for the Tar Heel basketball program under legendary Dean Smith. Following a short stint teaching in Florida, Ron came back to Chautauqua County and taught at Southwestern High School, where he coached varsity baseball and JV basketball. His coaching career continued at Davidson Community College in North Carolina for 2 years, and then he was hired at Alfred University, where he coached basketball from 1978 to 1990 and holds the record at Alfred for the most coaching wins in school history. He was named the Olean Times-Herald Sports Department Man of the Year in '86. He left Alfred in 1990 and became the head coach at Walsh University in Canton, Ohio. In 1993, he received a call from then JHS principal Jim McElrath, a Hall of Fame inductee, who offered him the head coaching job for the Red Raider varsity basketball program. This was a dream job for Ron, coming home to his birthplace to lead his hometown high school. Over 5 seasons, Ron's teams averaged over 15 wins a season, and he coached such standouts as Justin Johnson, Maceo Wolford, who are both Hall of Fame inductees as well. In the Chautauqua County area, Ron is most known for his achievements on the softball diamond as a fast-pitch softball pitcher. He played for several outstanding teams, such as, previously mentioned by Mark, Seizure House, Strom's Grill, Chautauqua Hardware, Hungry Horse of Salamanca, and Big Ron's of Olean. Winning several league tournaments, throwing no-hitters, perfect games was the norm for Ron back in the day, and his pitching duels with Jim Adamczak are a memory for all of us. They drew hundreds of people to Bergman Park to witness tournaments after tournaments. Ron was inducted into the Western New York Softball Hall of Fame in 1992, and I'm pleased to have Ron Fredress join the class of 2025 into the Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame.
Hello, sir. Wow, what a wonderful hometown reunion. In the last 3 hours, I've seen friends, dear friends that I haven't seen in 40 years, literally. Kay Gold, Tom Priester, Fran and Amy Sirianni, Mark Edstrom, I haven't seen him in forever. My players, Anthony Barone and Aaron Leeper, they understand what it's all about. Tom Anderson, he probably got his humorous skills from 8th grade phys ed. Mwah. And oh, by the way, basketball can be taught without using basketballs. Hey, y'all, I honestly, I can't tell you how happy I am to be here. And when I say y'all, well, I have lived the last 20 years in North Carolina. Randy, Scott Kinberg, Chip, committee members, thank you for your support and vote of confidence for my inclusion into the Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame. Fellow inductees, congrats on your induction and all of your various achievements. Your excellence in each of your fields is inspiring. At this time, I do have a number of individuals I have to thank for this induction. Firstly, my sons. Those of you that haven't coached a lifetime like I have, you don't understand how much time you lose. My sons, Kevin, Carrie, Kelly, guys, to have survived, I know you're back there, being sons of a lifetime coach, you have somehow, I repeat, somehow developed into very productive and positive adults who have made me proud beyond words. I love you all, and you know it. Yeah, give them a round of applause, please. To think, well, I'll put you in another scenario. If you were coaching at Alfred University for 12 years and the mentors for your sons all belong to the fraternities in town, you don't want to know. Oh, there's one back there. He's proud of his and their accomplishments. Secondly, I have to thank my wife. Obviously, she's not here tonight. I gave her the flu before I left North Carolina. This lady, my best friend, has kept me stable for virtually my whole life. And yes, I understand the other inductees. You can add any 2 inductees tonight and they still only get to my age. We did it earlier at the cocktail hour. I had Aaron and Anthony in there, and the 2 of them are my age total. The mother of our children has called this our journey, and what a journey it's been. She is the rock of my existence, and to accomplish that feat, she has put up with moi, coaching and playing ball for virtually 60 years. And if you could help me out and give her and any female that has enhanced your life a loud round of applause, please. I don't know if that's loud enough. I don't know if that got to North Carolina or not. Lastly, back in the 70s, Tim Brown put a fast-pitch softball team together called the Caesar House, which just happened to dominate the sport for a number of years. And I believe a few of my teammates are here tonight. A lot of my teammates have passed. And I want to thank them and congratulate them for one hell of a trip. We had a time together. I think Mark Edstrom said sports brings people and you want fun. Caesar House was just fun. We were just young kids playing. And at the time, Tim happened to ask this young redhead, moi, I know you're looking very apprehensively. This was Red. Red man. Yeah, Red man. I am Red man. I'm sorry. Well, at DMV in North Carolina 2 months ago, they changed Red man to Silver man. I was disturbed with the lady. So the redhead, okay, if you're older with me, you know howdy doody? No, none of you know howdy doody. All right, I'll try this. How about Chucky? Chucky, yes, I had red hair, I'm telling you, and not as long as Chucky's, but our first game together, Chucky goes to the ballpark to meet his new teammates I knew some of them, some I didn't. And I'm still in the parking lot, and Chucky hears this voice out of nowhere. Red meat! Now, I'm not red meat. Do I have a teammate named Red Meat, or maybe Red Meat is on the other team? At any rate, let's play ball. It's our first game together. Play ball, we win. 2 nights later, I show up at the ballpark, and I'm putting my spikes on in the dugout, and that voice again bellowed, "Red man!" And even Chucky said, "That's got a sweet ring to it." And there we are. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, 2 games into our career together, my catcher, my young catcher, that voice, that person who just happens to be the best catcher I ever had in my life, he's a one of a kind, and I love him dearly, and I have to recognize Bags Woodfield. Thank you. Yes, in other words, I have to thank Bags for being Red Man. But I have thought about this, Bags, all this time. For the last 55 years, I could have been Red Meat. Randy, I've effectively gone over my time, I know. That's what you get for revving up the old dog. This has been a once-in-a-lifetime experience. The Fredericks family and I want to thank you dearly. We thank you all, and that is Southern for all of you. And I am honored and blessed to be inducted into the Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame. Thank you.
Red meat, huh? That would have been something.
Could have been.
You couldn't have used that in very many places, so.
No.
There you go, Ronnie.
Thank you.
Thank you, buddy.
As a 2004 graduate of Faulkner High School, Nick Kahanick was a standout track and field athlete. During his high school years for the Faulkner Golden Falcons, he excelled in the disc throw and the shot put, and also was a member of the Chautauqua Striders, where he placed second in the shot put during the 2004 Junior Olympic National Championships. From 2004 to 2007, Nick was a 4-time National Christian College Athletic Association champion for Roberts Wesleyan College in Rochester, where he was also named NCAA All-American 13 times in the shot put, discus, and hammer throw, and a 2-time All-American in the shot put for the National Association of Intercollegiate Athletics. From 2006 to 2022, Nick's athletic ability flourished as he became involved in the Highland Games, both regionally and on a national and world level. Locally, he was a grand champion of the Jamestown Regional Highland Games, 13 times, claiming 15th place, 115 times in 118 events. Outside Chautauqua County, he was named 5-time Niagara Region Amateur Champion, 4-time Niagara Region Professional Champion, 3-time New York State Professional Champion, and 3-time New York State Professional State Champion. Kahanick was the 2013 World Amateur Champion, setting a world record in the open stone throw and also holds the North American record in the Bramer throw. We have recognized Nick several times here in past banquets for his national and world records, but now I am pleased to introduce Nick Kahanick as a world champion, world record holder, and the first Scottish Highland Game athlete as an inductee into the Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame.
Are you sure I'm supposed to be here?
Have you seen some of these people play sports? Well, I have good news for everybody. It's past 9 o'clock, which means it's after my bedtime, so we're going to whip right through this thing. We're going to save some time. I will stick to it a little bit, but we're really going to whip through it. Good evening and congratulations to my fellow inductees on all of your achievements. And thank you to the board of the Chautauqua County Sports Hall of Fame. I still have no idea what I'm doing up here. I was a gorilla in a skirt throwing telephone poles, man. All right, here we go. Quickly, I'd like to acknowledge how blessed I was. I was born with two very strong and athletic grandfathers. Neither of them got to pursue an athletic career. They both ended up serving our country in World War II. Those were my warriors. They're tattooed on my chest, and I'd be remiss if I didn't, honor them in this speech tonight. My parents handed their strength and hard work down to me. So I guess I'll go right into thanking them. Mom, you've always been my rock. Hi. You've always been there to cheer me on, celebrate the victories and dust me off when I screwed up inevitably again. You've always encouraged me no matter what. I could thank you a million times and it wouldn't be enough. I love you so much. I'm proud to be your son. Dad, Corey, I'm so thankful for both your love and support. And I'm so thankful that you guys always pushed me and taught me hard work, but also made sure that I wasn't too hard on myself. That always failed because I was always too hard on myself, but I always appreciated the effort. Making you guys proud was one of the biggest joys of my athletic career. I said I wouldn't go into stories, but here we are. In 2013, after the World Championships, the last event, we were all standing around, and my mom flew in, and Dad and Corey flew in, and we were standing around, and my dad kind of looked at me, and he's like, "So how do you think this is going to shake out?" And anybody that knows me, I'm a big-time math nerd, so I know everybody's scores, and I already did the math, I already tabulated it. I looked at him, I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't even tell you, I won by 1.5 points after that last event." And the look on his face, "Are you serious?" And he starts tearing up. So of course I start crying, and we hugged it out. And I'll tell you what, when you make your dad so proud that it brings him to tears, I'm gonna remember that moment for the rest of my life, Dad. So thank you for that. I love you guys. Ashley, thank you for being one of my biggest fans. You've been my best friend for 25 years. You've given me the greatest gifts of my life, and I thank God for Gia and Juliana every single day. I love you. Thank you for everything. Thank you for always supporting me. Like I said, she's been one of my biggest cheerleaders since I was 14 years old. So thank you to her. Rich Bianco, man, I've had a ton of coaches who meant a lot to me, but everything that we've been through, I don't know if you know this, but we're 14 days away from you being my coach 25 years ago. You are getting old, dude. So anyway, you were my coach, and then as I got older and I was the team captain and you showed me how to be a leader, you became my mentor. After school, after I graduated and you cheered me on in college and everything like that, you became my friend. And then years later, you started us in charity walks ever since I was a freshman in high school and helping, younger athletes out and helping the people around you. And when I started my own charity, and you started yours, we started working together and doing what I'm most passionate about now, helping kids. And we did that so much together. You became my brother, and I appreciate so much about you and the man that you led me to be. Thank you so much, brother. I really appreciate you. Joe, Mel, you chased me around the Northeast for about a dozen years, cheering me on at every competition. Thank you guys so much. I love you. Steve, Stacy, all your kids call me Uncle Nick, but Steve and Stacy, thank you guys so much. You've been some of my best friends my entire adult life. I wouldn't want another group of friends here to cheer me on tonight, so thank you guys so much for showing up. Like I mentioned with Rich, For the past 7 years or so, I started with my best friend Aaron. I started a charity for abused and special needs and underprivileged kids. And just recently, we decided to close the book on that charity. But everything that this community has given me, all the love and the support that they've given me, my story's not done. Shortly, I'm going to be starting a new charity for the same thing, you know, youth sports, underprivileged kids, any kid that needs my help. I want to be there to thank this community for everything that it's done for me. Before I close out, Scott, this is a terrible spot to sit, dude. Like, everyone has mentioned you, and the whole drive here, I'm like, I have to thank Scott Kimberg. I have to. Now it looks cliche because you're sitting right here. But I'll tell you what, for the past probably decade, every time I run into Scott, I end up thanking him and saying how wonderful he is. And, you know, and every single time, oh, no, I'm just writing down on a piece of, I am telling you, your talent is just out of this world. Everybody in this room knows you could write anywhere that you want to, brother. You brought my story to life, and I'll never be able to repay you for that. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Again, I can't tell you how blessed and honored I am to be here. This is incredible. It's a dream come true, honestly. Dad, thank you for writing a novel, a nice leather-bound book with an 8x10. He basically wrote a dictionary of my athletic career. It was very embarrassing. But thank you for all your hard work. Anyway, thank you very much. That's pretty much it. But much love, health, and happiness from my family to yours, guys. God bless.
Congratulations, my friend.
I didn't cry because I went through it. Thank you.
I appreciate you. I cheered up.
Yeah.
We were talking about it.
Yeah, that makes sense. I appreciate you. Congrats. Appreciate you.
In the history of Jamestown High School football, the 2000 team under the direction of Wally Hucknall will go down as one of the most prolific teams of all time. During the 2000 campaign, in which they went 13-0 and brought home a New York State Class AA state championship, Aaron Leeper amassed 47 touchdowns, rushed for 2,276 yards, and scored 282 points, all in a single season, and 2 of which were state records at the time of his graduation in '01. For his efforts as a senior that year, Aaron was awarded the 2000 New York State Class AA Player of the Year, the Conley Cup winner as the best football player in Western New York, the Buffalo News and Post-Journal Player of the Year, the Ron Pitts Most Outstanding Defensive Back Award, and the USA Today New York State Player of the Year. Thus, Aaron's number 21 jersey is also retired at Jamestown High School Strider Field. Aaron also ran for the Chautauqua Striders track and field program, where he excelled in the 200-meter hurdles. Because of his successful high school athletic career, Aaron was awarded a Division I scholarship to the University of Buffalo, playing in the Mid-American Conference, where he was awarded the 2002 MAC Rookie of the Year. Unfortunately, during his sophomore season, he suffered a career-ending injury and then turned his focus to academics, earning his bachelor's degree from UB and a master's degree from Canisius College. Today, Aaron now lives in Bayside, New York, and is employed by the U.S. Transportation Security Administration as an air marshal, believe it or not. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the greatest athletes in Chautauqua County, I am pleased to have Aaron Leeper come forward as an inductee into the Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame.
Good evening. Scott, thank you so much. Before I get started, I'd like to say happy birthday to a very special person in the room, Coach Joe DeMayo. I'm deeply honored to be here standing for you tonight as inductee into Chautauqua County Sports Hall of Fame. This moment is humbling, and I want to take this opportunity to thank the people who have played a significant role in my journey, those who have shaped me into the person I am today. First and foremost, I want to thank my coaches. So many are out there, from midgets to middle school to high school. I want to thank you guys so much. You instilled in me discipline, integrity, and perseverance, qualities that have carried me through life far beyond the playing field. Each and every one of you treated me like your own son, and for that, I am forever grateful. Football coaches hold some of the greatest responsibilities. It's not just about winning games. It's about molding young men and women into productive members of society. You embrace that responsibility, and I thank you for teaching me the values that I hold dear to this day. To my mom and nanny, you have been my biggest supporters throughout my entire life. Whether it was football, soccer, basketball, baseball, or track meets, you were always there. You gave me everything I needed and more. I love you both dearly, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart. To Randy and all the members of the Chautauqua County Sports Hall of Fame, thank you for this incredible honor. I also want to congratulate my fellow inductees this evening. Congratulations on your achievements, and hope you continue success. To my teammates, many of whom are here tonight, thank you for your support. This recognition is not just about me, it's about the teamwork and effort we put in together. I'll never forget the memories we made, the battles we fought, and the unity of the Dirty 30. You are all part of this honor, and I'm grateful to have shared a field with you. Sheldon, Biggs, Chris, Craig, Ricky, I'm glad you guys are here. Really, thank you very much. Baker, don't forget about you, brother. To all the high school honorees tonight, congratulations. Keep striving, keep working harder than your opponents, and never stop pursuing greatness. That work ethic will carry you far in sports and both in life. To my wife, Bree, you are simply amazing. Words cannot capture the love that I have for you. You're my rock, my partner, and my greatest blessing. I look forward to every day with you by my side. To my little daughter, Elle, who won the 50-50 tonight. So it's a lucky night for me, lucky night all around, so it's great. You are my motivation. You inspire me to work harder and be better every single day. Watching you grow and learn is the single most greatest joy of my life. I love you more than words can say, kid. Finally, thank you to everyone who made tonight possible. All of you, anybody who supported me throughout my journey, this honor is not just mine, it belongs to everyone who's been part of that. I thank you for being here and especially sharing this special moment with you. Coach Restivo, Coach Fredris, I mean, the list goes on and on. These coaches are something special. I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for their support, their encouragement, and it truly means a lot, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart. And again, gentlemen, thank you very much, and hopefully I wasn't too long. Get you guys home. Good night. Thank you.
Growing up in West Ellicott, Nick Sirianni was a regular kid in a family of 3 boys being raised by Fran and Amy. Tonight, the youngest of the 3 boys, Nick, will join his father, Fran, his older brothers, Mike and Jay, as an inductee into the Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame. Nick was a 1999 graduate of Southwestern, where he was a 3-sport athlete, football, basketball, and he had to be a good track star with his dad being coach. In true family tradition, Nick followed his brother's footsteps to Mount Union College, where he was a first-team all-conference receiver, playing on 2 NCAA Division III national championship teams for the Purple Raiders. Following his graduation in 2003, he was hired by their coach to be a defensive backs coach for Mount Union, a position he held from 2004 to 2005 when he won the national championship in 2005. From 2006 to 2008, he was a wide receiver coach at the Division II Indiana University of Pennsylvania. Then came the year 2009, a breakout year for Nick as far as his coaching career in the NFL is concerned. While a visit to the Lakewood YMCA, he met up with a coach named Todd Haley from the Kansas City Chiefs. Todd Haley's family owned a place at Chautauqua Institution, I believe, and thus is why they met at the YMCA. But Todd hired Nick, and he worked for the Chiefs from 2009 to 2012. And he was promoted to wide receivers coach when Haley was fired and Coach Romeo Cornell took over. And then Nick moved on to have a stint with the San Diego Chargers and then left San Diego with Frank Reich to become the offensive coordinator for the Indianapolis Colts. On January 4th, 2021, Nick was named head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles. His teams have made the playoffs every year under his guidance and have made 2 Super Bowl appearances in just 4 years. Due to Nick's ever demanding schedule, especially since winning the Super Bowl just a week ago, he is not able to be here, but he wanted to acknowledge his induction by sending this video, if we could play that.
Thank you to the Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame for inducting me into this year's class. It's an honor to be joining my family members as Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame inductees. My brother Jay, my brother Mike, and also my dad, Fran Sirianni. It should be some sort of unwritten rule that the mother and the husband of 4 inductees should be an honorary member or have induction themselves. So Mom, I know you're here. We'll be working on getting you into the Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame as we continue on. Thank you so much to, again, my family, my mom, my dad, Jay, and Mike. I grew up in a family where the core values of our family was God, family, football. And, you know, as I coach the Philadelphia Eagles, we have core values as well: tough, detailed, and together. And it's amazing when I go and I tell my family what our core values are as a family. It's very similar to both. It always starts with God, family, football, and the same things that are important to a football team: the toughness, detail, and together is the same things that are important to my family at home in the Sirianni household in New Jersey. Thank you to my wife, my 3 beautiful kids, Jacob, Taylor, and Miles, for all the support. They're my biggest fans, and I couldn't do this without them, and I just thank them tonight here as well. What an unbelievable opportunity it was for me to grow up at Southwestern High School and being able to use the facilities there anytime I wanted, whether it was going to the football field and running routes or playing catch or diving in the practice dummies or tackling the practice dummies, or it was in that high school gym where I could shoot hours upon hours and work on my jump shot, or whether it was in the weight room. My dad always had a key, and I spent so much time learning how to be competitive, learning how to get better at the things I love to do, and just all the time that I spent in Jamestown Southwestern High School, just getting better at sports and really diving in and working hard at what I loved. Congratulations to the other inductees. Aaron Leeper, it was a pleasure playing football against you and playing basketball against you when we were growing up in the Jamestown area. I always followed your career and had such high regard for what you did as a star running back for Jamestown, and also continued your career in the MAC conference. Tom Anderson, thank you so much for always allowing me into the YMCA anytime I wanted to play hoops. And you were also my coach for a couple games, and I really appreciate that and everything that you've done. And congratulations to you. It's an honor going in the same time you are. And to Stephen Carlson, I have a funny Stephen Carlson story. When Stephen Carlson was an undrafted free agent coming out of Princeton, we kind of got to the end of the draft, and we were looking at the board when I was the offensive coordinator for Indianapolis Colts. And as we were looking at the board, the general manager, Chris Ballard, said, "Does anybody know any of these tight ends up here? Does anyone have an opinion on any of these guys? We need somebody to fill out our practice squad. We need someone to come to rookie minicamp and have an opportunity to make this team." And I looked at the board and I saw Steven's name, and I said, "Oh my, Stephen Carlson. I know him. My mom was his kindergarten teacher. My best friend, Tommy Langworthy, from high school, who's still my best friend today, he was his football coach." So we call Steven to see if he'd be interested in joining the Indianapolis Colts. He had already committed to signing with the Cleveland Browns, and I thought to myself right there, thank God I'm not a college coach, because I must be the worst recruiter in the world, because not even my mom's relationship with him or my best friend's relationship with him didn't make him come the Indianapolis. All the student athletes there tonight, to all the young kids there tonight, I would attribute my success to hard work. There's no way around hard work. If you want to, it takes what it takes. And if you want to accomplish the things that you want to accomplish in this life, you have to work your butt off. That's one. Number two, embrace the adversity. This life is filled with ups and downs. And I can see now all the adversity that I've went through in my life has been for a purpose and has made me and shaped me to the person I am today. So again, working hard, embracing adversity are the keys. Thank you. Have a great night.
Accepting Nick's induction is his brother Jay Sirianni.
So, you want to say something, Jay?
Listen, I can't speak for him. He's a Super Bowl champion, so I can't say anything for him. But he did send along a jersey, signed jersey, to be held or put into the Hall of Fame. So he sends his thanks, and like he says, you can't be great without the greatness of others. That started here in Chautauqua County. So thank you guys.
Probably not as much bling as the Super Bowl ring, but maybe his boys will wear it.
He got 2 rings this month. So.
As Father comes forward now to give us our final benediction, I just want to again thank the staff of Lakewood Rod and Gun Club. It's been a great evening. Thanks for everybody being here, for your patience. It's a great night. I know it's lengthy, but it's, every one of our inductees certainly deserves our attention, and congratulations to everyone. So, Father, give us a final blessing.
Good and gracious God, we thank you for your presence here tonight. We thank you that we have been surrounded by excellence in athletics, both on the high school level and those who have been inducted. We ask your continued blessings upon us as we leave tonight. Keep us safe in our going home, no matter how far away that happens to be. And allow us a good night's sleep so that we can get up tomorrow morning and enjoy another gift of the day from you. Amen.
Thank you. And I'll leave you with another quote that you're going to hear forever and ever. Be good, do good, God bless, and go Bills. Have a good night, everyone.